Alright, so let's see how I just had to redo a setting real quick on this. This is a new client that we're using, well, I'm trying out anyways, is to actually this little integrated tool to stream right to Twitch. I've used some other tools in the past to stream games, like third-party type things, but I like the convenience of an integrated tool, certainly. Pretty easy to install. You just kind of, pick the directory and away you go. And it's so far so good. I'm just a little bit dissatisfied with the frame rate. But let's take another match and we'll see how if we do fare any better on it. Okay, well, not highest tier, but certainly not lowest tier. So hopefully we're going to do a little bit better on this guy. Knowing that we're going to have the inevitable train tracks to deal with, I'm going to probably try to follow the Churchill 3s and see how we do. Frame rate's a lot better now that I did that small setting. I just basically lowered the bit rate, and that's given me now about 40 frames a second on average. Not the best, but considering that this game isn't really optimized as well as some others, I can't complain. At least the gameplay is going to be a little bit smoother. I know that the stream may suck, but hopefully it gives you enough that you can see what's going on. Maybe I'll try to crank up the resolution, but looking at my dashboard, it seems to be okay. So hopefully, if you think it looks like crap, let me know, and I'll see what I can do about fixing it up or tweaking some settings or what have you. It's all cool. So we got lots of guys here. Now, one nice thing about the Japanese tanks is the fact that they typically have some pretty good gun depression, which allows you on a hill to kind of peek over without exposing a lot of your tank. As you see with the Excelsior, he basically has to get right on top, so that's when trouble starts. And oh, I got that PZ. Yeah, actually caused damage. And of course, it really depends on the map and the gameplay. With everybody camping on the other side of the hill, even peeking up a little bit is going to expose enough of your tank that you can be hit. And obviously, with a tank that is, virtually a piece of junk like this one, well, it's not that bad. I guess I shouldn't really rag on it. Now that PZ4 just pushed in. Here comes his buddy. Seeing what we can do. That's going to be a big problem now, as we don't really have. They're going to be probably hunting for arty, so we'll try to support our artillery.
Are you kidding me?
There we go. So I think they're both. Let's go see if we can get this guy. We're down to nothing health-wise. But we gotta support our team.
Execution style.
Got him. So, not too shabby. Cost us a... Oh, there we go. There's artillery on us. But we are in their cap, which is kind of good. Now, really at this stage, my only option is really to defend. I can't really be too aggressive. I'm 82 health left, or 19%, however you want to look at it. And I'm about as good as dead if anybody decides to come my way. My only option is to kind of sneak up, maybe sneak up that zero line, which is where I'm heading now. I'm going to run through our artillery and ensure that nobody's coming the opposite way, but being that there's only 2 guys left on their team, highly doubtful. Looks like they're going to be doing a big retreat now. So you can see in the upper left hand in this match, 142 damage. With this gun, even if you do get penetration, it's, well, you're not getting a whole lot. But a little bit better this match. We're about 13,000 credits, which actually works out to 11,000 because I didn't have to rebuild a destroyed tank, and 522 experience. So now that's pushed us up to 3104. We can always check now to see if there's anything that we can upgrade, and I believe we can at this stage. We can upgrade to the 75 or 7.5 centimeter gun, and we can take a look as to what this is going to do in comparison to our original stock gun. So we're going to go up from a 57 millimeter to a 75 millimeter. Rate of fire is going to be much lower, and if you look, even your penetration is going to be lower, but it's going to be where your damage is going to come in and hopefully offer you a little bit of help if you can penetrate that. Same aiming time, which is good, but that basically the accuracy is going to be quite low. So I'll be looking at close range combat at best with this guy. That being said, as much as I really don't want that gun, as I don't see it being a massive improvement over the experimental 57 millimeter, you have to unlock it in order to get to the new turret. Now, negating the damage, I think I'm going to test it out just to see what it's like, and so you guys can see what it's like. Oh boy, and there we go. My tier 4 Chi-He just got elite, which is awesome, considering I don't own it anymore. And let's purchase this guy. And now we have to make sure that we install all of our goodies on it, because it doesn't do that automatically. There we go. As you can also see too, I don't have any modifications or any equipment, on this tank. I just don't think it's worth it. What I'm really doing with the Japanese line is I'm getting to the next tier and then selling the tier before. You can see here, looking at my Japanese tanks, I basically have the 2 premiums that they provide, Wargaming has provided to me. Purchased the Type 3, the Type 97. I don't even have the slightest idea how that came. But the Type 3 Chi-Nu is what I'm working on right now. Tier 5 to 7 matchmaking, medium tank, currently at a 50% win rate, which is, right where I typically, run. I'm a pretty average player, so if you're looking for quickie baby style videos, you're not going to find them here. He's a genius when it comes to playing, and I watch a lot of his videos, which is kind of letting me make my own to show you what an average player kind of has to go through in this game. Obviously, picking a potentially substandard tank line to go through. I'll be playing a bunch of different tanks through my streaming, so if there is something that you want to see, just to kind of see what it looks like in the hands of an average player, then let me know, and I'll add it to one of my future videos.
last one alive, lock the door!
Okay, well, in this one I'm actually relatively high tier. Doesn't say a whole lot, as the KV-1 and the KV-1S, if they decide to shoot some gold, can pretty much take me out in one shot. So, you want to make sure that I stay away from them. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to support some other tanks and see what they're up to before I get aggressive. Basically, one of the things that I've realized in this game is to depend on your team as much as you want your team to depend on you. It's a lot of people like to run and gun, charge them in a tonk. But in reality, that philosophy rarely works unless you're completely overpowering your opposition, which in rare cases it does work. But this is very much a team-based game, but with a single-player focus. I've noted over time, and it's one of those things that you have to take account for when playing. So sometimes playing cautiously is good, and obviously there's a time and a place to become aggressive and push your gameplay in order to achieve victory, which is obviously the main result of this game. Which is kind of what I'm trying to help out here right now.
Tread slow, track is weak.
So we got the Stewart, one hit. A little bit more damage this time, as you can see, 118 damage, which is quite good. I'm not really going to expect big things for the accuracy, so I'm a little bit apprehensive about flinging shots far. This is certainly not a sniping tank. We did get a shot in the track, but no damage to the vehicle, which I'm actually quite surprised. Considering that in my playing, I would attribute this tank to a wet tissue box. Okay, not a very good shot there.
Unable to penetrate unit armor.
Come on, come on!
There you go. As you can see, it's just that easy to take me out. I mean, literally nothing. 2 shots. An armor-piercing round from an M4 for 130 damage, and a high explosive round from a PZ-4H for 310 damage, and that basically wiped me out. That's friggin' insane. It's almost laughable. But then again, I'm sitting on the side of a hill, right? See, this is exactly what I mean. I mean, in retrospect, when you look back, I was a little bit hungry trying to help out that Excelsior with that KV-1, and I left myself completely open and vulnerable, and shit happens, man. That's the difference between being an average player and a player of, high level. I'm never going to be that guy. I'd certainly try, don't get me wrong. I care about stats and I look at them and I like to improve. But I also realize that, I also like to have fun, so I try to find a happy medium in order to keep my sanity with this game. Because it certainly can cause you a lot of grief. So we currently have the M4 on cap. You can see him over there. And now we got our group of players coming down to take him out. So let's just see if I can get over to our M4. There he is. And wow. Hey, swing and a miss. So really what we're going to be looking at now is going to be not even the Wolverine, the Ram. And now we got a KV-1. So this is going to be quite interesting.
Stuck!
I think this one is going to be a loss. Our KV-1 is just now starting to roll into position for some support. And it's interesting too, a lot of players, what they find that they do is that as soon as they are dead, they immediately go back into the garage and start another tank or run another line or what have you. I found I used to do that myself, and now what I do is I end up watching the end of the battle or take care of something else that I need to do, whatever that may be. But it's actually quite interesting watching the end of the battle, because I've actually seen quite a few matches where you have the underdog and he becomes immensely successful. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen in this match, even if our Wolverine does get cap. He's not going to beat their time. I think what he's really doing right now is looking for artillery. Which he doesn't seem to have much success in finding. And this is a huge problem. I think really if the Wolverine had turned around, he had enough speed and mobility to get back to support that KV-1 in the Ram 2. I think there would have been certainly a much better percentage chance of ensuring a victory. Now, not so much, unless he can pull off a miracle, which, by what I'm seeing right now and probably what you're seeing right now, we're all saying the same thing. Maybe throwing himself on cap early too would have divided the enemy team, and they would have been separated as some of the members tried to go back and retake their spawn point, our capture point, and some of the team would have stayed and tried to kill the tanks that were defending the green point. Who knows? But the option is there. Okay, so now we are spotting some artillery. And of course, artillery is spotting him for everybody else as well that's on the map. So, artillery's down, but with 3 seconds left, not going to pull off a lot. Still pretty cool.
We're moving.
Not a bad game overall. For me, on the other hand, it was shit. I got pretty much nothing out of that match. And I think I need about, another 1,500 experience before I can get the newer turret. And that's going to be a pretty decent improvement, I believe. Really, it's not. Check this out. What a piece of crap. Okay, so here's my stock turret right here. The turret type 4, Cheeto, Igo. And we're looking at 50, 35, 25 respectively for armor, 36 degrees of traverse, view range of 340, and a weight of 4,700 kilograms. Now we go over here. We're going to look at the turret type 3, the Chi-Nu, and 50, 35, 25, 36 traverse speed, a 10 meter gain on range, and a 5,000 kilogram weight, so 300 kilograms heavier than the stock turret. The benefit, of course, is that it takes on these 2 additional guns, finally getting it up to a tier 5 gun. So let's take a quick peek at that. And then we'll take a look as how it compares to the stock gun. So both 75 caliber. Rate of fire drops, but the penetration is much better. Much better. And it seems to be a heck of a lot more accurate as well. So certainly something worth getting to, because really, nothing else in the Japanese lineup for this tank will compare to this gun. And it'll be at least allow the tank to kind of stand on its own, as opposed to playing a very high supporting role. Because this tank by no means is a brawler. So, well, let's get back in there and see what we can do. But I will say that the Japanese line is a tough grind. I'm actually enjoying it a little bit. The tanks are fun. They got good speed, good maneuverability, and that's probably due to the fact that they're very lightly armored for their tier. I haven't tried the Chinese line. It's going to be another line that I plan on doing. I'm involved in almost every line of tanks that World of Tanks has to offer, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm still playing a lot of tier 5, 6, 7 tanks with my account. But you know what? I don't really care. I think it's pretty cool, and I like experimenting with a lot of tanks and checking them out and seeing what they're all about. So really what I want to do here is I'm going to be checking out the KV-1S and following him. So that's basically what I'm going to do, is look for the big boy. Where the hell is he? There he is. So I'm going to support that KV-1S. Unless he decides to run off and be completely solo. And let's just take a look and see where everybody's going. And M4 can't drive. Okay, so it looks like we got a good split. Lots of guys going to be up around the ridge line. Okay, and yay! It's funny. I don't mind these type of comments, but literally, it's the game just started. So allow people to figure out where the hell they're going, troll. Because as you can see, we're already running into problems. The M4, I don't know what the heck he just did, or ran into, or what, but apparently it hurt. Alright, so we do have some company here. Okay, and that's that. And the toaster is gone. So actually not too bad. Not a bad start. We got rid of their first line. Got a Hetzer floating around above me. Nobody really supporting me anymore. So I kind of want to stand up. Here we go.
Absolutely not.
Well, Hetzer flinging gold is cool, but if you check if you check out how I got him pinned, not so bad. Maybe and he's dead too. Well, you know what? He who laughs last laughs best. So not too bad of a game, even though I died for this tank, right? And once again, guys, totally, average player here. Got 3 solid hits and a kill. So 261 damage I did, and this is of course using all stock ammo. I don't really fling gold in any of my tanks. It's one of my least favorite things about World of Tanks is the gold ammunition. But I won't get into that. What I will get into, though, is that I will start posting some more links on my Twitch page in regards to the mods that I use and where I get them and how they work, because they're pretty cool and they do help my gameplay a lot, make it a lot more enjoyable. And let's see how we're doing around here. So we got the Martyr 38 going right in. He's going in hunting some Artie. Kinda running into brick walls. Now Artie's waiting for him. Let's just see who wins the wall. And oh my goodness gracious. Well, double whammy. So we'll go back, take a look at our Chinukai, which is the premium version of the tank that I'm using, the Chinu. The Chinu. I have the premium version, the Chinukai. I think I bought it on a sale a long time ago. It was like dirt cheap, a couple bucks or something, and I picked it up. I haven't really played it a lot, and the reason being is I normally use my premium tanks to grind out crews for other tanks, or if I'm just looking at killing some time and I don't really want to invest anything into grinding. Churchill 3 is a great example of a fun little premium tank for grinding out crews, and obviously with the Russian lineup, you have so many crews to grind that you're able to grind out. So it certainly is a benefit. But unless we can get that guy off a cap, and that Churchill 3 looks like he's holding off the M4 up top. Just show you there real quick. So you can see up here, we got a good brawl going up there. The Chinukai against the Priest. I just wanted to see. I think he's going to finish him off. There we go. So really there's not much. I'm pretty sure that this Chinukai, if he's smart, he'll just sit on cap. The shame of it, too, is that he's a relatively high-tier tank in this match. He's got 3 good kills, and he's at full armor. But let's go see how our M4 buddy is doing. Not so good. He's trying. And, yeah, well, he tried. And that really doesn't leave much for us, unless artillery can go in there, and we can see Bishop doesn't look too eager to move, but he can still spot them. But he's trying. I think if he was smart, it would be a good time to take one for the team, but I don't think he's going to make it in the few seconds that are remaining. Take one for the team. Yeah. Kind of a sigh, but still, good match. Even, you can learn a lot from a loss too. The game isn't all about winning and losing. It's also about learning and becoming a better tanker, and that's one of the things that I do, even though losing pisses me off, of course. So, speaking of losing, you can now see that I'm down to a 45% win rate in this tank, but I'm slowly making my way up there. And it's not been too bad. Not been too bad at all with this tank. It's actually been I give it a meh so far. All right, bottom of the barrel. So, as my strategy dictates, I will be playing incredibly cautious, which to me is try not to die in the first 5 seconds. And here we go.
Cowards!
Dear God, KV3s, KV13s, Comets, Panzers, oh my. And really, at this point, we can see how everybody's splitting up. Really, really hard push. I guess that's going to be going up the 1 line and not so hard on the 0 line. So, let's get rolling. And believe it or not, I typically will wait 5 or 10 seconds to kind of get everybody settled in a routine, especially if I'm in a little bit of a speedier tank, a medium tank or a light tank or what have you. Then I know I can catch up relatively easily. It's not really that I'm leaving them behind or not supporting them. We're probably going to lose it along the 8-9 line. As you can see, we only got a few tanks, so we really need to kind of push through if we want to have any chance of winning, or any chance at all for that matter. We're going to want to push through up this 1-2 line. But we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. I don't know. If I was a betting man, I would not bet on this, but okay, I don't want that Chinukai being a cheeky peeky, taking pot shots at me. I'm going to be a little bit risky here. Oh, I was hoping to get the guy that was...
Penetration failed.
Yeah, I'm not going to be penetrating this guy at all. But what I'm hoping is just to keep him guessing as to where things are happening until some of the heavier tier tanks can roll around. I actually think I did a pretty good job of doing that. Just with that one shot in his rear and probably seeing that he could probably kill me with 1 or 2 shots. I think he got greedy. And that allowed enough time for the Cromwell to get across, but we are pretty much doomed. So we need to make a heavy push. Now, for me to run back and try to support Cap, oh boy, impossible. But we have 7 of their 9 tanks spotted on the map.
They hit the track. We can't move.
Okay, the SU-100 took out my tracks.
Unable to penetrate unit armor.
That track could break real simple.
Well, that was that. Actually, I was pretty pleased to just be the last one to survive. I really need to try to get better at getting around the sides of the TDs. I just, for some reason, I always hit the wrong angle. And another award-winning prize purse there for me. Something I'm getting all too accustomed to with this tank. And that's also bumped my win rate down to 43%. So as you can see, this is the curse that you face with some tanks. You can blame matchmaking, you can blame your team, you can blame yourself. It's usually a combination of all those three things that cause your win rate to plummet. But it's also amazing to see that when you're in a short number of matches with a game, how quickly and how big it jumps. I mean, 2 matches ago I was at 50%. Here I am now at 43% for those that actually, care about statistics of the game. If you don't, I'm losing. And that's all you need to know. Oh, I guess I should throw a fourth equation in there too. Sometimes it's just the tank. That could be matchmaking as well, but even a poor, heavily armored tank would fare well than a poor, lightly armored tank. T67 driver, hey, how are ya? So, Black Prince is the highest guy here, and we're going to see what we can do. And once again, I'm pretty much at the bottom. I'm just going to continue to wait. I really kind of want to stick with the heavies. So as much as I want that Black Prince to support him, okay, so KV2 is always a good guy to hide behind. Holy smokes! That KV2 certainly didn't last long. Unbelievable. And so we're kind of running into the same situation. I'm trying to pull off a lot of pot shots here. It's really not working. We're losing our lines quite rapidly. We already got guys on cap. Okay, never mind. I know there's a SU-100 kicking around here. Okay, they're all behind. Oh, there he is. Let's just see. So, he's trying to snipe off those guys, so I'm going to try to support as best I can.
Someone get those shells loaded.
It ain't gonna work. Like I said, is not going to work. M6, pretty tough tank too, so I knew that was going to happen. I was actually just surprised that I penned off that SU-122-44. I was actually surprised. So, to me, small victory. This is going to be an abysmal match. Certainly one of the ones where I would kind of say that matchmaking was out to get us, and maybe just some poor team play as well. Could be. It's really hard to judge the quality of a team if you're going to be, constructive about it. Anybody can say, "Oh, your team sucks," bleh, whatever. But it's important to look at the whole aspect, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's important to sometimes stay behind in a game and watch some of your remaining teammates and see how well they fare in comparison to you, because you died before them, and it's usually the first people to die that are the first people to bitch. M6 again. Okay, so we're really feeling the pain here. Trying. Hey, good job from Artie there. And that's what we're left to.
Back in, drive slow.
Gotta love the Ragers. But we'll see. Whoa, look at that, guys. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I love seeing the games and they talk about, oh, I did 4,000 damage in this. This is where your average player rides in. And if you look at it, I'm still not at the overall bottom. And there were some much better equipped tanks that could have done a lot better than I did in the game. But then when you look over at the enemy team and you look to see how many people are over 1,000 damage in the game, it's pretty apparent, you know, why we started to lose. And look at the number of kills too, right? So let's get back into it and we'll see what we can do. We'll try another match here. And if anybody's watching this and they have any questions, feel free to throw it in the chat room. You know, tell me I suck, tell me I'm awesome, you know, whatever it is. Tell me, you know, if there's anything you want me to change, anything you like, dislike. I'm a big boy, I can take it. And also, all my videos are going to get encoded and go over to my YouTube channel, so I'm going to update my Twitch channel with links to that, links to my mods that I use, which aren't really my mods. I shouldn't use that term. It's somebody else's mods, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due, which I should have already done. But, you know, in my excitement to get on Twitch and be famous, I forgot all about it. So we're going to go see the hustle at the tracks again. And let's check that out. This time I'm changing my philosophy. I'm going to go help with the mediums and the one TD that are heading over to this corner. Actually, being that I'm second highest tier in this game, as long as I stay away from the KV-1S, I may have a relatively good chance of surviving and causing some damage. So, pretty exciting stuff. And this is where I guess it pays to like pay attention and not get overzealous or over agitated by your game. You know, you just kind of gotta wait. It's a numbers game, and you know, Wargaming is certainly aware of that. They're constantly looking at trying to tweak the matchmaking and, you know, presumably make it better. I really don't know if that's the end result or not. So here's a pretty interesting thing, you know, a little slightly elevated on the ridge and still have, you know, pretty good traverse and angle with my gun. Okay, so I can. Don't think I'm gonna get a clean shot on these guys. Alright, I'm gonna push forward now. This is what I was talking about earlier too, you know, you gotta really kind of let your team do their job. Sometimes when a bunch of people rush in all looking for the kill, all they end up doing is getting themselves killed because they're all running interference on one another. Like, now there's virtually nothing I can do. So, now that I'm at half health, due to the fact that I was stupid and I just got sniped,
Owned. Much for anti-lock brakes.
Terrible. Pushing a little too hard, but trying. And as you can see, I did a whopping 7 damage on that M3 Lee. I don't know if you guys were able to pick that up or not, but pretty craptacular as a matter of fact. Pretty craptacular. Alright, well, that's going to be it for now, guys. I'm going to check back a little later, and if you want, you'll make sure you follow me, and you'll get an update as to when I am playing some World of Tanks, or playing War Thunder, or playing, I don't know, whatever. Alright, thanks for watching.